Hello, good people. Welcome to the Amateur Hour. My name's Justin.
My name's Tyler.
I'm the one called Junior.
And today we're sponsored by Lofty Cat Studios and EBXYA and a friend of the show. But before we even talk about even sponsors or just even get remotely into sponsors or any sort of sponsorship, I want to welcome our guest and lovely animator, Mr.B Animations, also known as Byron.
Also known as, hello, it's me, Mr. B, also known as Byron, also known as I'm so tired, also known as I haven't had my coffee yet, so you might hear me say things I don't mean. Penis is cool. Your turn now.
Yeah, since Justin forgot again, welcome to the Amateur Hour.
Yeah, I forget. I mentioned that it's the Amateur Hour in the beginnings of the intro. It took me a minute. I too am tired. It's 9 a.m. in the mornings, and then all of us aren't really used to and wanting to get up in the morning.
I'm usually going to bed at 9 in the morning. What's going on?
And talkings of sleep schedules, what have you been doing in this quarantine? How's it been treating you, Byron? Indulgence.
Well,
Always
been
plotting.
drawing a lot. Been making animations. I've recently started streaming on my YouTube channel. That's been a lot of fun. It's just sort of giving me less of an excuse to be a lazy piece of shit.
So it's kind of in a way positive for you, right?
Been jerking off. That's something.
Wonderful.
So there's been a lot positive going on, but a lot negative too. Like, I mean, I've only eaten popsicles once for an entire day. That's all I ate.
Wow.
And there has, but I have tried a new cereal.
Oh yeah. What was the new cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Wow.
What was the one before that? What was the OG one for you?
Toast Crunch?
Yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I used to sleep on Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I've always been like, Cinnamon Toast? No, thank you. Now I've eaten like 3 bowls. So
3 bowls in.
It's been like 2 days and I've already gone through a box. So
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is literally what I've eaten almost every day my entire life since I was a child.
well, that's it? Just Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
For breakfast, I get like 2 or 3 bowls a morning of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's good. Like, it's shockingly good.
It's fantastic.
The milk gets so like I guess cinnamon would be the word. If you want to be technical. Oh yeah, how about you guys? What have you guys been doing?
I mean, I'm quite the opposite. I don't even eat breakfast, I just get up.
You don't even drink water.
Yeah,
I photosynthesize, you see.
This stuff, I know it's weird to you, but you need more of it.
I drink water now. I would be drinking water during the podcast, but unfortunately, we ran out of bottled water. So, and
I've been drinking toilet water for the past 5 years.
But yeah, no, like I mean, do you guys indulge in a breakfast often, Tyler Jr.? Are you guys breakfast folks as our guest here, Byron?
During the weekend, yeah. I'd say I eat breakfast every morning.
That's the thing. I'm not huge for breakfast either. I mean, I'll diner. I love diners. I think they're really fun, cozy, and nice. I like sitting there and having an aged woman be like, "What do you have?" And I'm like, "I want a coffee." And they're like, "Okay, here you go, sweetie." And I'm like, "Thank you, madam." And then I have like a pancake or something. I like that. But at home, it usually just boils down to a big mug of coffee. And then later I'll have lunch.
Yeah, I'm not a coffee drinker for sure. I can't do coffee. But breakfast, it's basically only weekends because on the weekdays I'm up early in the morning getting in my van going to work. I don't have time for breakfast, so I just have an early lunch.
Oh, so
That's what-
so what you have for breakfast is money. Is what you have.
Yeah.
Is what you have.
Yeah. Essentially, it's pretty much a salad.
But you guys are like settled down on work. I'm going crazy on work, getting overtime. This whole
Yeah. I mean, if we get into it for a second, like Tyler, you haven't really been able to make it to our actually last 3 podcast episodes
Oh,
because you've just been.
I can't do it.
Yeah, you guys been swamped with work at your job, so I think that's pretty intense, pretty insane.
Guns and security system, man.
But at the same time, it's kind of like I got one of them jobs. You go in everyone's houses every day. It's like if you want to talk about someone at risk, that might be me for sure.
Man.
Yeah, I
See,
mean,
I work at Michael's. I haven't worked for the past like 3 weeks. So
really, is Michael's superstore? Is it what is Michael's indulgement?
arts and crafts. We sit there and get yelled at by Polish ladies who want to buy stickers at 50% off.
Who wants the 50% off? No, I can't give it to you. It's just like
I want 50% off. The stickers are $2. Why? Can I get 10% off? It's like you're gonna be the same price with the tax, but sure, knock yourself out. I don't care.
That must be I don't know, heartbreaking, given the factor that we all kind of been put on halt when it comes to this virus and everything. But Byron, I did want to get into a little bit how we met and where we met, so that way the viewers at home can understand more or less how this relationship began.
So, first, he was a boy, I was a girl. It couldn't be any more obvious. No, but seriously, if memory ensues, we had a speeching class, which I totally passed with flying color.
Oh yes, it was definitely a wonder getting into that class. Like I remember it was her voice and articulation class, which is quite strange given the fact that you're more or less into animation and
I was there mostly there for the credit and scoping voice actors and people to like voice over stuff.
Yeah, and it definitely was a fun class. I would admit that. Like we had some good times meeting some very fun.
Oh no, that class was so much fun.
It was like just if anything, it was more or less of voice and articulation and an improv too. Yeah, it was like it was just like an improv class to have the whole time because
we just kept back and forthing and it was just great.
Yeah, and I loved how it just flowed with the rest of the class. And like that was my first voiceover class. I remember that, so I was super nerve-wracked into getting into that mess. And I remember we just eventually, like I said, we just ended up goofing and improvising a lot of just fun situations. And it was a blast working with you. And then I loved hearing your different voices in the class.
I remember
some of the characters.
I remember specifically. I never forget it. It was a character that just in the class just developed. It was like the Godfather mouse or something like that, who was just in a wheelchair but couldn't die.
Yeah, just kind of like fed up with life.
He hated his grandson so much. It was just so dumb, but we had fun with it.
Yeah, he's definitely a fun character that honestly, hopefully it'd be fun to have us even voice and do something with sometime.
It's so dumb. It makes no sense.
So I definitely wanted to get into too is like what kind of got you into animation and art and just drawing in general? What kind of like drove you into that realm?
Well, as a kid, my notebooks were just covered in just random doodles and things that I was interested in. Like as a kid, I loved Pokemon, and I still do. So I would go in and draw from memory. on the backs of like the cardboard of notebooks all over, just the ones that I memorized. And then eventually during, I believe, high school, I learned that, oh, I can make a career of animating and drawing. So it just sort of evolved from there. And as a kid, I'd watch a lot of YouTube animators like Eagle Raptor and all that stuff, just basic stuff that as a kid, though, they were just dumb animations. And I look at them now, I'm just like, this is stupid. I can't believe this influenced me so much, but here we are.
I mean, that's pretty cool. So, like, in getting into art design and finding a sort of career in it, how did you kind of land on a career more or less that you wanted to do? Did you want to do something for like, let's say, cartoon animations? Is there anything specific you really wanted to get into?
A lot of the time when I just thought about it, it always just made sense that that would fall into that career, if that makes sense. Like I would draw something, I'd make a story for it, and I was like, oh man, now this can move and be art and be made into something, and it just fell back into cartoon animation, just animation in general. So at the end of it, anything I wanted to do just immediately just like pachinko down to this one category that just kept fitting perfectly and perfectly. So it just
Now,
came
do
from
you
that.
come from an art sort of background and an
Not
artistic
at all.
family?
Come from a
Just
completely dirt, sitting in the middle of nowhere Guatemalan family. Everyone was working regular retail jobs. My mom's a babysitter, all that stuff.
really.
Like my family couldn't be farther from art.
Wow. So
But
so then how did you get about then going to our college that you ended up going to? Like how did you end
it
up
was
finding it
it
and
was there.
choosing it?
It was closest. It was closest and the only thing specializing in what I wanted to do. But
That's
it ended up working out for me. A lot of what I learned in class, I kind of just been growing with my, just been trying to mix in with what I already know, and it's just been making connections and stuff. So it's been very fulfilling, I feel.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you decided you wanted to get into drawing, did your parents support you in that decision?
I'm surprised that yeah, they were like super like my mom was like especially, she was like super like oh my son he like it okay. And I guess she saw that like I not only was I really that I like it, I was passionate about it, and I kept going for more and getting better and all that stuff. So she was like, okay, it's not just a phase. Like he genuinely enjoys and wants to get better and like make something of himself. So like I pretty much just proved that like right away. I was like, I want to do this. And she was like, okay, my son.
I mean, that's definitely good though to have sort of supportive parents when it comes to life goals and dreams and getting into your future career. Another thing I wanted to say more or less is, were you at all sort of nervous in this idea that, because I know definitely in our field, media for one has always been such a big and growing industry, and it's one of America's like leading type of industries that everyone knows and is well known globally. And
Mhm.
we kind of lead media and in regards to animation and creation. So, in getting in all this, were you at all nervous for getting into your career? Is this something that you worry about, or is this something that you had to mull over when choosing,
Weirdly enough,
deciding?
more so now, if that makes sense. Like back, I was like, no, this is what I want to do. I'm doing it. Now I feel that, but I'm also like, I also have like a reality in my head where it's just like, there's a chance that this will not work out. But for now, it's working out and I'm having fun and I'm enjoying myself. So I'll just keep doing what I gotta do until it works and everything works out. Because I feel like everyone has those doubts of just like, oh, was this the right idea? Was this the right choice? This, even in the beginning when I learned what it was, has always been my choice that I want to do this. And even when I get in moments where I'm like, I'm not good enough, it's not getting my art's not getting the clicks that I'd want to get. It's not even doing basic stuff like someone who's just started is getting more than me and stuff like that. All that jealousy type stuff and all that like self doubt and stuff. It always just ends up going away because it's just like I like doing it, so it'll come. Like it's fine. I just gotta keep going and stuff and doing stuff like this, like collaborations and meeting other people. It's all part of it.
I'd like to add to that. Um, I'm not going to ask if you have people that probably say like sucks or anything, because I'm sure you do. Everyone does. But when that happens, how do you get past it? Like if I see a piece of art, I'm like, wow, that's really crappy. I don't like it. It sucks. How do you push past that and keep going? Because obviously you seem like you're super positive with everything. So, well, how do you handle that?
Saying that it doesn't hurt my feelings, saying that it doesn't make me sad isn't true, because it does. Like it all the way. Of course, like if somebody questions if you're good, if somebody says that it's bad, it's gonna hurt and it's gonna hurt your pride. But I notice that feeling is usually temporary, and from that, I always get the feeling of, all right, this was bad. My next thing's gonna be even better.
Okay.
Because I'm the type of person that doesn't want to move backwards when it comes to my career. Every day I want to be like, okay, I want to be productive and at least one thing today. And even if it ends up being terrible and it ends up sucking, everyone has sucked at some point. No one has never not sucked. So it's just always that sort of thing. It's just like it's fine to feel sad if someone hurts your feeling. It's your feelings are hurt. Like you can't ignore the fact that your feelings are hurt. But if it gets to like a week, 2 weeks, and 3 weeks, and you're still stuck on that one thing, that's when it becomes a problem. Like you have to, like I have the feeling that the sooner you get over it, and the sooner you realize, yes, I'm not the best. Maybe this was just one person saying a bad thing, and blah blah blah. Just opinions will always vary, so it's always like.
Do you ever
just
have those moments when you're sitting there and stuck like that?
You ever get that feeling when you fall and you can't get up? Monster Energy. Monster Energy will put you in cardiac arrest quicker than that fall will. I'll tell you what.
I'll be honest, I thought you were going to say Life Alert.
But
Yeah,
Life Alert doesn't work. It's just the garage door opener. Everyone knows that.
A quick way to open your garage. Life Alert.
Give it to your grandma. She'll fall eventually. Now we play the waiting game. Make the floor real slippery, and we'll see. She'll fall.
Your car will be out of the garage in no time.
Let me tell you, she only has to click it once, so let's hope that one fall kills her after she clicks the button.
One thing that you had mentioned, and it kind of intrigued me, and I would like to get a little bit more into, is that sometimes you say that you get into comparison with you and other artists, and how often do you find yourself falling into this hole as a creative mind, and just constantly thinking of other artists and comparing yourself to so much other competition out there, because there's a plethora of individuals that are creative just as you.
Absolutely. Well, the way when I said it, it seems like I fall into it more than I do. It's sort of like a slump that I get into like a day, and then that's over with afterwards. But it helps just doing the art and having fun. When you feel like that, I feel like that's when you should try and do something in that field, because then you could be like, okay, and then you start feeling like you're enjoying it, and then when you enjoy it, you're like, it's fine, I'll be okay. And that feeling I feel like every artist feels like that. It's like, oh, I posted my thing and only got like 40 likes. Okay, that's fine. And then I go over and find a quote unquote worse drawing, and it's hitting the thousands, hitting the millions, and I'm just like, why do I even try? But it's just fuck it, right? Why get hung up on it? Like I made something. It's 40 likes that I got that I wouldn't have gotten if I just didn't do it.
Do you ever try to take someone else's art and like alter it, or are you totally against that kind of thing?
See, I've had it happen to me. I've had people like not like alter it, but like I guess not even repost it, because I've seen that like screenshot and then put on like iFunny and Collective and stuff, and I'm just like, I did that, and that's it. Like that's the extent of it, really. And like I've got 500 followers. I'm not seeing myself get on Instagram only, and I'm not seeing myself getting like parody accounts and stuff. So I think I'm a bit far off from like the really huge like copycats type stuff.
So even getting into your drawing and some in regards to that stuff, are you at all sort of worried about, let's say, because I know one thing that I run into in going to an art college as we do, are you at all worried more or less about others, like let's say taking ideas that you have and just pretty much like, all right, this is my idea now, and now we're gonna run with it. Is that something that you're afraid of at all? Because I often find art students, every time I talk with them, right, and I try and sort of network, and as I've talked to you before, like sort of build a team or whatever, but we'll get into that whole situation later. But in talking to others and trying to network, I often find people that are very protective of any idea that they have, good or bad, because, and they're afraid to talk because they think you're going to take every idea they have. Is that something you kind of also fall into, or that you're at all worried about?
Honestly, no, because ideas can always change, you know. And if somebody takes that idea, I'm like, all right, I'll come up with something better. It's fine. But I do have my certain intellectual.
Change your original idea a little bit, and there you go. It's still yours.
Yeah, because it's like at the end of the day, like they can take it, but I know how it works inside and out, and I know how I can make it work and make it work better than someone who just heard it from word of mouth. I have a lot of intellectual properties, and I like show ideas, movie ideas, short ideas that I know that only I can bring out the best of. But I do like, and like I feel like just being afraid to talk about your ideas and intellectual stuff is not what being an artist is. You have to be passionate. You got to be able to sit down and be like, all right, I'm about to tell you this bullshit lore I just came up with, dog. I'm about to hit you with some shit. And then if you get them invested into it, then you know it's good. If they get invested, then you know it has the potential to bring people in.
Yeah, I think that's very true. You have to try your ideas out and not be afraid to show it. And I also agree with the factor that, yeah, as an art school, as an artist, as an individual that is going to be a creative, you have to not be afraid that others are going to take your job or your idea.
They took my job.
Right?
Don't work at my
They took his dog.
But yeah, like in getting, into creating and creating different ideas, I think people have to be open and honest with the others, and not be afraid to share certain ideas, because yeah, someone may take your idea, but you're, like, as you said, you're the person who had created it, you're the one who knows how to make it work.
It's like
And there's
art and ideas online all the time, so it's like it would be hard for somebody to just be in and be like, haha, mine. So
Yeah.
it's like, if I don't show it, then it's not going to be seen. But if I do post it and keep my integrity, then it's like,
Yeah,
So
and
what
I
about
think
you, Junior? You got any questions for our guy here? You've been quiet the whole time.
He's just like, I fell asleep, bro. What?
Yeah. I'm just trying to pick apart the conversation, listen, and then if I have something, I'll ask.
Okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
he
Just
yeah,
give
he
me-
normally he normally interjects a little bit. He interjects a little bit in between, so sometimes Junior's a more quiet type. It's okay.
Hang on, just giving him a chance.
Meanwhile,
But
he's been asking questions out loud, but only in his mind. He's just like, ah, shit, I forgot to say them words.
but yeah, like I definitely agree with the factor too that I think artists, in order for artists to grow, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you have to hear ideas from other individuals and take inspirations from what other sometimes people see, or different things that people see that you maybe didn't quite see when you were creating whatever you had, going on.
It's always I've heard a quote somewhere saying that nothing's ever original, something's always inspired by something, and to some extent I
Yeah.
agree with that, because it's
I
like,
remember, yeah, I had, sorry to interrupt, but I remember having a class, and I believe I've talked about this once in the podcast. It's that, and in this class, it was actually writing in a rhetoric class, writing rhetoric to a really cool professor, and we dove into the idea of that quote that you're saying, that really nothing is essentially original. And when you get into breaking down stories and ideas and other stuff, to an extent, I could see where that quote really has such meaning and such hold on the idea that, yeah, possibly we're all inspired by something. And in a technicality, it really isn't original, right? Well, the ideas of us coming up with heroes or certain characters. But I also don't fully agree with that statement as well, because sometimes I feel that, like a show like a Rick and Morty or something, someone comes up with just such a unique sort of idea.
like there's this
That
one thing, I don't know if this was even related to what you're talking about, but there was this, like, I don't even remember what the show was called, but it was like this scientist, I guess, and he fucking turns himself into a pickle. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
you savage. Yeah, I think his name was Pickle Rick. I don't know what the show
No,
was.
man, no, I couldn't do that. No.
It was Cucumber Charlie something.
It was actually Rick Pickle. It was a very different thing.
Very different show. I don't know what you're talking about. But with that said, we do have to give a word for our sponsors, so we're going to go to a quick break. I hope you guys enjoy this word from our sponsors. Have a wonderful time. We'll be right back.
Adam Stowe, a unique alternative rock artist that delivers a lyrical narrative through unique stage performance that will resonate with its listeners.
Breaking down like a bustle beast. I want to wake up it. No, I want to kill my head. No, but what else can I do? You're red inside my mind.
Adam Stone's music describes emotions not commonly expressed. Alongside Adam Stone's lyrical talent is his ability to be a one-man band. You can follow Adam Stone on SoundCloud and YouTube.
And I'm taking you down. You don't know what falling means.
So from Mexico to the rest of the world, I introduce to you your favorite ghost, Adam Stone. Get high-quality XLR cables from EBXYA. EBXYA makes keeping track of your cables easier by delivering 6 different color coding options. Their cables are made with a durable metallic connector, which allows your cable to last longer. Their cables are also made with a flexible, durable PVC jacket cable, imported with remarkable tenacity, elasticity, waterproof, mold-proof, and anti-cracking. Keep your sound intact and search EBXYA on Amazon today.
Hey Justin, you like to sing, right? Give us a little something.
Hey!
You need to take that over to Lofty Cat Studios. You can record that kind of music there. They got drum kits, acoustic pianos, Fender and Martin guitars. They can help you get your music on all streaming platforms and get you some CDs made.
Hello and welcome back. Yes, we still have him, Mr.B Animations. I forgot to give a shout out to your Instagram. And you have some lovely, lovely drawings on there. If you guys want to check them out, his link's going to be in the description. Oh, wait, his link is in every description, because the man, the myth, the legend himself actually has helped us with a lot of our animations and thumbnail art and a few other stuff as well. And I definitely want to give you a second thank you for that. Definitely is a big help. I owe him a lot for putting stuff on our YouTube platform, because if not, you guys wouldn't have that lovely cloud animatic to stare at.
You could
If it
get
wasn't
baked off your shit and watch that
yeah, it's
at the
absolutely.
time of your life, I'll tell you.
But yeah, no, like I definitely owe you for that. It's absolutely wonderful. I enjoy working with you on that, and as we can see here, actually in the background, you have that lovely character in the back that as often shows up in Instagram. Mind telling the people and viewers at home who that character is, and yeah, indulge us.
This is my dad. No, I'm sorry. This I have a few characters. This is Feds, a ghost boy who loves stealing shit, and his goal is to get filthy Scrooge McDuck levels of rich. He's been a character I've had for a while. There's a few intellectual properties and all that stuff that I've definitely prominently shown on my Instagram and Twitter and all that. And yeah, hopefully a pilot is going to be written. I'm getting a buddy of mine to help me out because I want to make sure this is the best as it can be. There's another series of episodic things I want to make with involving an army guy and an alien. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun, goofy little characters.
Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. Like, I definitely like the art style that you have. It's definitely very unique. And so with that comes with my next question is that what kind of inspired you to choose that certain art style and more or less you know continue to do you ever mess with any other art styles or
Yes and no. See, when it all comes to an art style, I think of it as what feels most natural drawing for someone. So whatever they feel as natural and not as straining to draw, that's their art style, their natural way of drawing. And my style of drawing has always been decently simple and but like complex in different ways. But yeah, different. I've definitely toiled with different art styles, and again, my art style has shifted a lot. It's become more polished. It's become more interesting when it comes to coloring and all that stuff, with just with experience and stuff and learning how to make it look better.
so like it's the more the form that you're most comfortable with. So I definitely like the sort of more bubbly, if you will. I don't know if that's
Yeah, I get what you mean.
term to say, but like of your animations, I definitely like the colors you use too, and noticed that most of your characters kind of have like those sharp teeth, and
I'm trying to limit it because I feel like it's getting a little repetitive, and like every character has sharp teeth nowadays. But like I feel like I give characters sharp teeth where it makes sense.
and how do you more or less come up with these character ideas? Is this something that you run through in your mind one day? Does something give you an inspiration?
A lot of characters, honestly, I haven't envisioned in my mind, and like I figure out like, okay, I want this character archetype that needs to fit this motive for me, that needs blah 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 this, blah 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 that, and a lot of my characters, their design are their first drawing, if that makes sense. A lot of characters that I have haven't changed since the moment that I've drawn them. Just like they just become more polished and more like sleek and well suited to be animated and drawn. But besides that, like the basics of the characters has always been still there. Like the Feds, for example, when I first drew him, didn't have clothes. Like he was just blue, like all the way. But then I gave him clothing, but that still fit like his personality. That still make him feel like himself. It's
Yeah.
just sort of adding things to the character.
So slowly but surely kind of like build and
Yeah.
sort of change. So if in a way it kind of highlights your growth as an artist as well as a creator. Now, I do know that you have a YouTube channel as well, Mr.B Animations. Again, always linked in every video in our description. Um, is that more or less like so when you're getting into it, because you do have some animations with that, is that a long process in creating this stuff by yourself?
I recently put up a lip sync of a character I have. It's a zombie with like a scarred up face. I animated her for about like 40 seconds singing a song from Coco. I did that in one sitting. So it varies depending on if I get into the groove or if it's more complicated. Definitely what I struggle personally a lot with is, as you mentioned, colors. Coloring for me ends up usually being a drag and what usually takes me the longest. But when it's done, I feel like it looks great. My art style, going off of what you said before, has been compared to a game called Skullgirls, if you guys have ever heard of that. So it's been compared to an art style similar to that. It's been compared to, I believe I've gotten compared to Ed, and Eddie. I've been compared to just like the wackiness of it a few times, and I feel like I don't know if you guys are seeing this online, but there's this this pilot called Has Been Hotel, which I have mixed feelings about. But I've been compared to sort of a sleeker, more controlled version of that. I take that as a good thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Because that pilot had a lot of problems that I personally have.
you definitely have sort of a wacky sort of sense, if you will, of the character designs and the characters, and I absolutely love that though, is because it makes it unique to you. And do you feel yourself a lot of times like, let's say, drawing characters that sort of represent your characteristics as an individual, or are you just saying creating characters off of maybe others that you see?
A lot of times I try and project less and less, but sometimes I do treat certain traumas and stuff and other things that happen or experiences or people that I have met that influence either one-off characters or certain storylines. I try not have characters be exact mirrors of real life people, but sometimes I can't help it that a person I met particularly influences me a lot, and just I have to do that. And again, a lot of the times I base the character off a voice I have in my head, or if that makes sense, like a voice that I want to put a face to. And that's the hardest part to me, I guess, that finding voice actors and finding people that fit characters that I've already established. Like in that same class, I found a voice actor for Fence, and he's fantastic. His name's Devin. He's fantastic.
Yeah. That's definitely a wonderful thing to hear. I will say, when getting to this sort of career and this sort of background, what are your aspirations when it comes to an artist? Is there any areas that you want to, any places you want to go? I mean, I heard you talking about a pilot. So
I want to
yeah.
have pilots out. I want people to see my characters and like them, draw fan art, get inspired from them, all that stuff. A lot of my aspirations and goals are just little things that I want to do personally. Like, I want to voice act in something that isn't mine. Like, I want to voice act in someone else's film and be a character in someone else's thing. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. I've always wanted to get into music, but unfortunately, I feel like I'm not that hugely musically inclined, and I have a lot of trouble like getting music, all that stuff. But I want to be featured in a song or something, record a music video, animate a music video, all that stuff. Like, I have a bunch of little projects I want to do, and when I get those done, I consider that a milestone. There's no like this huge this is my dream. I guess my dream would be, of course, having a show on air, but even you don't have to have a show on the air to have established great characters. Like Netflix and just like having things online is enough. Like, I just want my characters seen and loved as much as I love.
With the technology era, I mean, we pretty much, you could create your own show on YouTube and just have so many people see your artwork. One of the things that I could probably say that because definitely you're a man of, like I said, I enjoy your artwork. I enjoy working with you. another thing that you work on with me as well, and it's not just the animatics for the amateur hour, but we are currently working on a children's book. I can say that much. And that's a ton of fun. I remember sitting down with you and being one of my aspirations is to be, a film producer and creative producer, hopefully, and working with the creatives and someone talented as you. It was definitely fun creating the artwork process. What happened, Tyler?
Are we allowed to do some sneak peeks from either of you guys? Anything?
Nothing yet because we.
The thing is, we have shit done. That's what we ain't got nothing done. We have character designs and that's it, my guy. We don't have story.
We have character design. We have what happened?
Not even just to look at a character.
Unfortunately, I kind of want to. It's one of those things that we're talking about creative process, where we just kind of want to keep it low key for now.
I get it.
I will say, they're so cute. They're so cute.
Yeah,
they're
so
adorable.
It was adorable. I mean,
they're so cute.
I kind of want to talk a little bit about it, but I guess we can.
Thing, when I was just on the phone driving with him one day, and he said you're able to whip up, simple drawings. Well, I wouldn't say they're simple. I would say they're really good. But he said it takes you like minutes, and a whole character's drawn, and he claimed it was perfect. So I was like, I wouldn't be able to do that fast. So
yeah, with one of the characters that we had, he just drew her once, and that was it. And
it was a lot of fun. And I feel like for Code Word, Big Green, that one was still, even that one was, I feel like we sort of just really quickly put it together. Like we just bounced off each other perfectly, and it's just like worked out.
It was funny though, because at first when we were drawing Big Green, if you will, that's actually a lovely code word. Big Green was pretty menacing for a children's book.
I drew you just like a few foot blah blah. You described it, and you were just like, I was like there. He was like, it's kind of creepy for a children's book, don't you think? I was like, yeah, maybe you're right.
And it was at first I was like, I didn't know if to be like how to break it to you. Because it was like,
he's a bit, Byron, I'm not gonna lie to you, he's a bit scary. I'm just like, I can see that.
I was like, I said, Big Green's.
Look to your kid before they go to bed.
Yeah, it was one of those like where you read to your kids that it was gonna be like they're gonna steal the kid.
And the Big Green puts his finger on it. Like, I don't want this, Dave.
I said one word that I used. I was like, yeah, like when I was describing this Big Green, if you will, I was like, yeah, monster. And he's like, all right, yeah, I got you. He's like, draws it. It looked like pretty much a lima bean with some menacing teeth.
I mean, he had hands. He looked like Mike Wazowski mixed with Monster Hunter type stuff. It wasn't fun, and he was just like, and then I think then just realized that it was just like, maybe I should be more specific because I think.
Yeah. I mean, because it definitely was a new experience for me working with some, another individual and sort of describing this vision in my
in my defense, you just said like I want a monster, and I'm just like that's very all right.
Because I partially wanted to see where you would go and like how you would go with it with your art style, and like you were so menacing, but I mean it was good. Like if I thought
it was pretty good, but like nah.
Yeah, it just didn't work necessarily for that specific character, but I think I
gave him like mangled.
Just give him some brighter colors and a happy face. It'll be fine for a children's book.
The thing is, he had both of those things, but like, his smile reached up to here, rows of like teeth, and just like one big menacing, just like. Pupil, it's just like
and the horns.
The horns just like devil horns, and you were like, it's good. But
I was like,
I looked at this and I shit myself. Like, I don't think a child would like.
I say
I
go
was like,
for it.
it's good, but I'm afraid.
It's good, but my heart stopped a little bit, and I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely one thing is that eventually we came down to it. Cute as ever. Cute as ever. I gotta show Tyler.
Such,
I think I might
such
have
a
showed.
boy.
I don't know. Have I showed you, Tyler, any of
That's-
the?
No, you're gonna have to text me some pictures.
Yeah.
Now I really want to see it after him explaining it too.
Yeah.
You picked
It,
you picked the
it was
good one.
absolutely wonderful. And I even took a picture of every part of the process. We were also working with a writer. But it definitely was an experience for me getting into creating this stuff. And again, kind of figuring out a lingo to bring to you. I have another friend who's she's an animator, or like not necessarily animator. She'll probably kill me. I used the wrong I was talking about an animatic the other day. Animatic,
Storyboard
pretty much.
artist, I assume, right?
Yeah, she wants to be a storyboard
There we
artist.
go.
I think I've mentioned one time to you about wanting to work with her. She actually might be a guest on the show. So, but yeah, no, that was. It's funny getting used to the lingo of, or at least a way to describe,
Yeah.
because I'm into I'm not I'm creative, but I'm not the creative type of drawing or.
When it comes to lingo, even I feel like me particularly, my lingo is stupid lingo.
Yeah.
Like, if that makes sense. Like, I have a way of speaking and putting words together that makes absolute clear sense to me, but people saying is just like, what?
You don't know the right way to say it, so you made it up yourself.
It's just like, like monster. Okay, could you be more specific? You know, cute. I'm just like, all right, is he a bean or is he mean? It's just like,
Right?
what is he? Does he tall? Or does he want to fall? What? Does he want to hold your hand or does he have a plan?
I mean, and then too, like describing something I think one of the descriptions I kind of brought to your attention was I'm like, okay, let's do something like Dr. Seuss, but not like unique to us. And
I'm just like, got it.
you draw that.
I draw like a perfect cat in a hat, but from the live action movie, and you're like, how the fuck did you come up with this? I'm just like,
You said and Dr.
You said-
Seuss.
you said Dr. Seuss, but not. There you go. What do you want from me?
But one thing that I find very important is that we definitely work cohesively, and I feel like it didn't take us too long to come up with these designs and this character, because we worked fairly well.
I
It
remember
was
coming
fun.
up with the other character. I guess we'll call her Little Yellow. I guess we'll call her that.
Little
That was-
Yellow.
The Little Yellow and Big Green. They were fun.
Yeah, they were fun. Big Green ended up turning out really cute. Insane.
Oh,
I can't get over. I wish I could show everyone.
I just want to just.
Hey, we'll let them know when the book comes out. They'll be able to see it.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely want to
Yo,
bring.
have me back on the show, and I'll say like, hey man, this book's fire, dog.
And hopefully our writer, we can get her back too. And I would love to have a podcast with all three of us. I think that would be absolutely fun to just talk about the whole process.
I have to be.
Probably
I'm gonna
have
have to keep
Tyler
myself
and
sweet.
Junior interview us. I'll be interviewed on my own show.
And then Junior's gonna bring up the really important question of,
Yeah, that's what I was planning.
he's just like, that's a good question.
But yeah, no, so that definitely was a fun process, and I would say it is a blast, and we have many more ideas. I have many more ideas that I would love to work with you on, and yeah, I kind of, one thing that I did was I kind of gave you, I remember of us meeting and coming up with these ideas, I kind of gave you a short little interview of your own, of more or less your characteristics and the
Yeah,
type
I remember. That was a lot of
aspirations that you had.
we ate burgers and it was real good.
It was very relaxed, very fun.
I'll tell you what, when this whole thing is over, we're all going out for burgers. 'Cause I
Oh,
need.
100%. We gotta get burgers. We gotta get.
We're gonna go crazy. We're gonna go to Kuma's Corner.
Ooh,
What?
sounds delicious. I've
I
never.
don't even know what that is.
Oh my god, there's this sushi place by my house. Oh fuck, I'm gonna just rape that place when this is over. I'm gonna be like, yo, they'll be like, what would you like? How much how much shrimp rolls do you got? A lot. just, even if I throw them up, just bring them. Fucking, I don't care.
So yeah, like in regards to working, absolutely fun. I did want to just give those individuals a teaser on what we're working on, Little Yellow and Big Green. And hopefully we're going to be working on more stuff together because again, it's a blast.
Do we have a rough sketch? Like before they were colored, when they're literally just
I
scribbled.
think
on
I
paper.
could find what they.
Yeah,
I think I could find
Like,
the original
that won't
Can you
give
find
it
the
away.
original and
I
show
prob-
them?
because I have all my old sketchbooks on here, and I could probably pull
Yeah.
it up.
If we can get a scene of the original, then maybe the crowd can put it together themselves.
Oh well, he kind of
I found him.
show this.
Oh shit. Okay.
Is it the scary one, right?
I found the scary one. Hold on.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, look at that. I said monster, and he came up with a lima bean that's gonna murder me. Like,
I don't fucking know. What do you want from me?
what's possibly the second one? Do we have the one with the ears?
Yeah, but
the-
that's a little close to what he is now.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to give it away too much.
Yeah, but
Even though Tyler keeps trying to itch to give it away.
Tyler's like, what are you?
That was good enough for me. I want to see Lopez because I haven't seen it. Now,
I'll
Justin,
send
you
it
gotta
in the
text me
group
the
chat.
finished ones. Yeah, you gotta text me the finished ones.
Yeah, like it was a process. Like I said, he came up with it fairly fast, and I think that's just in regards to how well we work together, and as well in regards to how creative he is. And I liked your unique style, and I feel like again, it's very unique for children.
I'm very happy that I was chosen to be a part of this. It's like it's mind blowing that I was picked.
It was fun. It doesn't seem like it,
great.
but I it's not because it's like oh hey, I know one animator, let me go talk to him. No, it's I definitely went through a process of talking to several individuals, not like let's say first, but in getting to know them, becoming friends with them, and honestly, and going through all their different art styles. Yours is one of the more unique ones that I liked. So,
That feels good. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
and I enjoy working with you, and I enjoy having this podcast with you. Let's get into some more questions. What sort of have you? So, given the fact that you're into animation, what animations are your top favorite? What films?
Oh god,
Go.
fucking Chowder's my shit, dude. Chowder's so stupid, but it's great. Spider-Verse was a great movie. I feel like there needs to be more 2D movies though.
I love that the unique 3D sort of aspect that they went with
It looks so good.
It was absolutely amazing. It felt like you were watching almost a 2D animation.
Oh good.
And they kind of inspired me for an idea in regards to one of the animated films that I would love to produce.
I like keeping up with new shows that get announced on Cartoon Network and all that stuff. I like keeping up with it. Two shows. There's a show on Disney XD that just came out like a few months ago. That one's pretty decent. I believe it's called Amphibia or something like that. It's like a little frog show. I think it's really cute. I think it's great. I love the art style and the comedy is really good. There's a show on Cartoon Network that just came out called Mau Mau. That's really good. It's super unique and it just came out of fucking nowhere. Like there wasn't a teaser for it. It wasn't nothing. Cartoon Network was just like, ah! And it's so good. It's stuff like that. It's so good. What other stuff? I don't know if you guys seen Zach Heidel, Psychic Pebbles made a show on Cartoon on Adult Swim. It's called Smiling Friends. It's dumb and I love it.
I haven't necessarily kept up, but it sounds fairly interesting from the name itself.
So dumb. It's so dumb.
Mind prefacing with the idea of the cartoon is?
So it's these guys who want to go around and get hired to make people happy. So they go to this guy's house, and the entire episode, he just has a revolver to his head, and he's just gross looking. He's just sitting there. He's just like, oh, I'm just gonna kill myself. And the characters are just like, but we'll show you stuff that's great. And he's just like, oh, I guess. And that's the whole episode. It's so good.
That definitely is. I mean, it sounds very interesting and very unique.
Wasn't there something coming out on FX? What was it called, like Cake or something? I remember seeing the promo for that, and that was like real weird. I don't know if you caught that.
I haven't seen that. That sounds mildly familiar because I try and keep up with at least pilots and all that stuff.
You know that the creator Justin Roiland's coming out with a new animation.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
He came up with Rick and Morty.
Yeah. And
I
it
still haven't finished Rick and Morty.
it looks fairly similar to Rick and Morty. So
I mean,
if you
it's his distinct art style. It's hard to mistake it.
Mm-hmm. When
And
I
it's
seen
a
that
distinct voice also, I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's
I was
literally, his
like-
voice is literally Rick and Morty. Like, that's his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin was binge watching all those kind of shows with me, and then he discovered this crappy girlfriend, and then disappeared off the face of the earth, and we never got to finish it.
I'm sorry. Me and Junior also binged them too. One day, what was it? We just were like, it was when I was living with you. We were like, let's get into some Rick and Morty, and
Yeah.
we just fell in love with it. And literally every episode we watched together, that was super fun.
I remember back when it first came out, before
There was another one that showed me like one episode that was really good too. It wasn't Rick and Morty. It was a different one.
Oh,
a friend. What is that?
It's a cat.
What's it say?
Callie.
Caddy?
What a creature.
Callie.
Callie, okay.
Yeah.
Is Pringle alive?
Oh yeah, he's got show him Pringle.
All right, hold up. Let me bring Pringle out.
But in the meantime, yeah, I know what the animation you were talking about, Tyler. I'll tell him in a second, but I absolutely love that animation, and we have to finish.
I got to watch like one
Nice.
episode.
I was expecting a cat.
It's just because they're fairly long.
This is
Oh.
Pringle.
Is it a gecko or a bearded
Yeah,
dragon?
he's a little leopard. He's a leopard gecko.
Okay.
He's so
I know
adorable.
they're entirely different, but he was just tan and had the same shape. Oh, there you go. That's a gecko.
Byron is secretly a lizard himself, so he's a lizard.
Actually, I'm an insectoid in disguise. Yeah, this is Pringle. He's my leopard gecko. I've had him for like 2 years now.
Yeah, nothing made me laugh more when you were like face reveal and it was your gecko.
No, it wasn't a gecko. It was a little picture of like a roly
Oh
poly.
yeah, lobster.
It was like a weird little like insectoid. Yeah, this is Pringle. He was half awake and half asleep. Look at him.
He just picked him up. I was like, you're gonna be awake now.
He was just like, Pringle, what do you have to say? Pringle, you can't say that on 2020. It's crazy.
Do you feel that it has a certain personality that is different from several other lizards? Do you feel like
He's dumb. He's like really dumb, like super dumb. Pringle, no!
And he's gone.
He's a freaking drug addict. This one.
My brother had a bearded dragon, and that thing was pretty cool. It crawled up your arm and it would sit on your shoulder, and you could just walk around the house with it. He was super chill.
This
on your back.
This one he'll freak out and jump off my hand because he doesn't understand the concept of height. So he'll just
I had a gecko. It was a what kind of gecko was it? It wasn't a leopard gecko. I can't remember. But he was like that one. He would crawl all over your hands. But the same thing, if you've seen something and he wants to go for it, like he'll try to jump and he'll realize
it's not even go for it. He just sort of decides to move and then just jumps for it. Like right now he's fine, but like literally anything, like nothing's moving right now. He'll just like what? I felt him tense up. He was about to do it.
he's like,
Yeah, that's how mine was. Like, I had to keep him low to the ground because if I was more than 2 foot, I was nervous he's just gonna like get hurt.
This is an evil Knievel lizard.
Stare down.
I'm gonna put him back so I can answer questions.
Now we're gonna need a lizard character from this guy.
This idiot had laid a big green shit underneath his pyramid right where I can't see it.
If you picked it up or something.
No, I just picked up his pyramid. Now it's just like, oh look, a little poopy, and then I put him back. I was like, you put it where I can't get it. Now you gotta sit in it.
The closest I've had to a lizard was actually I had a salamander, and it was an awesome salamander. It was blue. It was really cool. But we one day had this fishbowl, right? And we put him in a fishbowl. And needless to say, I didn't know this, but salamanders can climb on things with their hands. And
They literally have little hands.
yeah, and it climbed out of the bowl and probably died in my vent somewhere. I don't know where it went. It literally disappeared.
That was the weirdest thing about my gecko. He would climb right up the wall.
Yeah,
Like just a regular white painted wall, he would crawl right up it.
I was beyond sad.
He has like grippy hands, so he tries climbing the glass, but he can't. So I just see him like this, just trying to go, and just like, you dumbass, you know that's not. I'm not even gonna help you. I'm not gonna help you.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine could actually climb. He would go right up the side of his tank. He'd go right up the wall. Anything he touched, he'd climb right up it.
Unfortunately, mine could too.
He's just so staring at.
I've had turtles. Turtles are boring to have.
Well, no, you can just hold him like this while you do chores. Yeah. You just like hold him. It's like, what do you think we should do today, little turtle? And he's just.
Yeah, they just kind of sit there. I've had
his name was Stella, and we always had one of them like outdoor fence things. We'd set it up and put it in the yard. And one day we forgot about her, and well, we came back and was, oh shoot, her cage is still outside, but she was nowhere to be found. 3 days later, me and my brother are down by the creek or something, and she's literally just walking up on the creek wall. She just got out of the water. Like, she never left. She just went down to the water. You know? So I was like, what the fuck?
Insane.
So we took her back and put her back in her tank and gave her fresh food and all that stuff. And it was like, huh, okay, so you're fine outside. You just
like, we found the turtle.
I had a Chinese snapping turtle, and it grew to be like huge, and but we gave it away. Unfortunately, I was so sad. And then we had another turtle.
Snapping turtles, they ain't the easiest thing to deal with because they're just angry all the time, no matter what. They're just mad always.
They just want to snap.
His name was Jack, and he was the nicest guy ever.
There's no such thing as a nice snapping turtle. You ever seen an alligator snapping turtle, my dude?
It was, he was sweet. He was cute, He was
a special turtle. He was a turtle.
And then we had another snapping turtle, except like he had a spiky shell on his sides, and he had a spike like on his nose. It was kind of crazy.
He bit my foot off. That's why I got a prosthetic.
We put him in the local lake.
So probably fucked up that ecosystem, dude. No,
yeah. I don't know what happened.
There's no fish in that bitch now.
Finger off.
Yeah.
He's probably fucking huge now.
Yeah. What's that? It's Gamera from the old TV shows.
He's probably like turtle. That. And he's just like, Snappy! And he's just like, starts spinning in circles, flies off into space.
Society.
And then he just comes back, just crashes into the city, starts destroying, and you're just like, yeah!
So, as an artist, is there something? Do you like video games? Are you into video games? Is there any particular games?
Oh my god, Hollow Knight is one of my favorite games of all time. I love Shovel Knight, Smash Brothers. I will deck anybody in this call. Anybody who watches this video, I will beat them.
Well,
I
don't say
like-
that to Justin, because then he'll practice all night for like a week straight, so he could be.
Bring me the cheeks, boyo.
Listen,
Animal Crossing. It's become my whole life lately.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Animal Crossing.
everyone's been into Animal Crossing.
Number one game and like series of all time. Pokemon, definitely one of my most favorite things of all time.
It's a classic.
That's so good. I love it. It's not good, but like I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely Pokemon is a classic. I used to collect a lot of Pokemon cards way back in the day.
I got a framed thing of like the full art ones back here.
Really, that's cool.
I just
What
want
about like creative games? Like, I don't know, Minecraft, roller
I play
coaster.
Minecraft. I play my
something like
fair
that.
share of Minecraft.
Yeah,
Animal
crafting.
Crossing-
Period.
Animal Crossing can kind of fall into that same category, I feel.
Yeah.
So like
Is you like craft like a whole town, and I heard there's like a whole economy and everything you have to manage.
you got it.
Mortgage.
You got to pay a raccoon money or he'll break your legs.
I
Pretty
got this
much.
game, Planet Coaster. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
I have not.
It's you design your own theme parks. I really like that
Oh
game.
yes, I have heard of that. Yes.
Everything. I can do really good rides. I suck at making buildings. I suck at putting like plants and everything in. Like I can.
I'm sorry, I can't make a hospital, but look at this dope ass Ferris wheel.
Right.
I like myself.
Like that-
Plants vs Zombies is another one I really like.
Oh, you know, I have Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare.
I want to play that. It seems like fun. Cuphead is another one. Rivals of Ether.
Cuphead, I've gotten like into 2 levels, and me and my friend got wrecked. Or me and my cousin actually got wrecked. And we're like, okay, this is actually pretty hard. Never mind.
I beat that motherfucker, except for I didn't. I beat the final boss. He's too hard, but I got there.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. Like, it's a fun platformer. Cuphead, I really like the art style to it. Very unique, very different.
So pretty to look at. And
If you've heard of the video game that's actually coming out, I'm super excited for it. I don't know if have you ever seen the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
yes, is there
And
a Honey I Shrunk the Kids simulator coming out?
No, but there's a game that's actually similar to the premise of the movie, where you play as a group of individuals. It's a 4-player cooperative game. It's crafting as well, similar to Minecraft, and it's called Grounded. You play like these kids that are shrunk miniature, and it's a survival game pretty much. There's spiders,
That actually sounds
ants,
like fun.
there's like cockroaches. It's insanely cool.
What was the other? What's this other game I really like? Oh no!
I paused for a minute and then here. I was like, oh god.
How about like exploration games?
Ah!
I could list one. I love No Man's Sky is one that
we were talking about that one.
yeah. I wanted you to get it, but unfortunately you didn't. I'm looking for a game to play with you, Tyler.
I could still. Is it cross-platform?
I would have to look into it,
Herbie.
but if it is, that'd be cool.
I have a PC and you have an Xbox. Although if you put it on
You have
Xbox
an
and shared with me, we could play it.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
That
Binding
just-
of
that-
Isaac.
Which one?
Binding of Isaac.
Planning of Isaac?
Binding of Isaac. It's you play as a little fetus boy and you shoot shit with your tears. Another game I really like is Alien Hominid. That's a good game.
Yeah, they have a lot of what I like is the recent influx of like indie games
Oh no!
and
that's great.
how creative and artistically beautiful.
Hey man, let's make a game.
We can make a game
Let's make
if
a
you know anything about making a game.
I know
Make
everything
a
except for
four-player
making.
split screen.
I could come up with an idea for a storyline, and I
I'll
can
do the
handle
art. I'll
this.
do the art, and we just need to get somebody to just fucking stitch it
Have
together
any
like
of
a
you
madman.
guys ever heard
I
of
do
Human
know
Fall?
someone who does 8-bit style animation and video game creation.
Yeah,
So
we're halfway there.
Yeah.
Hollow
If you
Hollow
really
Knight, a
wanted
game.
to, I could make it happen.
Hollow Knight is a game that I really. It's a platformer. You play as a little bug guy and you go around killing other bugs. It's so much fun. A sequel is announced, but not a
Really?
release date. So I'm angry. This is my little rant.
The only thing that if we got into creating a video game that we may or may not need is funding to create this lovely game. But I mean, I'm sure we could come up with a GoFundMe or something.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Well, you know what? You say it. I'll
Justin,
sit on it honestly, and
I know this game, Human Fall Flat.
oh yeah, Human Fall Flat. Have you ever played that?
Never heard of that?
I've heard
It's
that.
it's such
That
a
one-
trippy game and so
It
much
is
fun.
so much fun. I would love to do a spin-off. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys want to do your own complete original thing, but if we did a spin-off of that game, I would have so much fun because every time they come out with a new level on that game, I can't put it down. It's so much fun. It's the best co-op stupid game right now.
It is a blast. I think if we did make one, it would have to be a platformer. But you know what? Hold on. Let's save the talk of the video game talk for a second. Well, there you have it, folks. We might end up making a game as well as a book and some other stuff for you guys.
That's all the bullshit. Fucking whatever. We can do whatever we want.
I would like for you to do you have like a word of advice or a place for people to start when it comes to getting into art?
Me and myself, I'm not the most experienced. I'm not the most popular, all that stuff. But I'm getting.
Yeah, so pretty much don't compare yourself to other artists and kind of do your own thing. And
when it comes to successes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
At least, because then you gotta take every success as they come.
Yeah. And what is, if you don't mind me asking, what is success in your eyes? When it comes
taking steps forward in gaining what you want.
Okay. I mean, that's definitely
whether the step is just getting there, taking one step, or taking that final step to where you actually get it. That's success. Improving success.
That is definitely a good advice, I think, for all artists out there. I want everyone to stay safe out there as well. I thank you for having this time with us. It was fun. We did some wonderful, it was nice diving deep into kind of who you are as an artist and getting into your mindset and your inspirations. It was definitely fun getting into a game idea randomly.
For a minute, we're just like, I guess we're making a game now. All right, fuck it. Why not add that to the list of shit that's never happened?
Well, hey, now I'm looking forward to what the future brings now that I actually see the face behind all the animations on our channel.
Yeah.
Yay! It's like, and I gotta say, God, he's a ugly motherfucker. I gotta say, I'm sorry.
And getting into it was definitely a good podcast. Even just getting into the recent animations that you like and are into. But with that said, you can go follow Mr.B Animations over on YouTube, Instagram, and do you have a Twitter?
I do have a Twitter.
Okay, I was trying to.
And you'll never guess what my handle is on that.
It may or may not be Mr.B Animations. So if you guys,
it is, idiot.
if you guys please go check him out. He's in the description again of every video. He's Byron, again, the most wonderful artist I've had to work with so far. We have a lot of things planned and creation ideas, as well as he has his creations of his own and things that he's putting forth. So I really hope you guys support him and support your local artists. And if we end up having GoFundMe for a video game, please support us as well.
Feels like, you know what I'm saying. And if I can say a few words, thank you for having me on the podcast. This was so much fun. It was great meeting the both of you. And I hope we see each other more. And I'm more than happy to do whatever you guys need me to do. This was a lot of fun. Shout out to Justin. Thank you for letting me be part of the crew. And
Definitely.
No problem, man. I'll be looking forward to seeing what this can bring. Sounds like we got a good, fun guy here, so it might get interesting.
It was like, hey, Justin, where did you find this guy? Well, I found him outside hitting a cockroach with a branch, and I just thought he's perfect.
Yeah, he was eating the trash one day, and
I was just like, I like your style.
Artist. Yeah, artist.
He's like, what are you doing? Art.
I can relate.
It's like he speaks for the people. The artist is rubbing shit into children. It's art.
And thank you to our sponsors as well, Lofty Cat Studios and EBXYA, as well as a friend of the show, Adam Stone. And another word again out to EBXYA in this tough time. I hope you guys are doing well. As well as to Lofty Cat Studio. Again, I hope you're doing well as well. We do keep in communication, but it is very kind of loose. So pardon me for not checking in as often as I should. So again, I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Again, Byron, thank you very much. Tyler, do you have any other closing words for us, or?
Just that I hope everyone out there is doing well. I mean, we're carrying ourselves decently, so hopefully everyone's got the same, everyone's doing well as like us are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that may be in our audience that are having a struggle. So
yes.
At least we can look forward to this.
Best of luck to everyone, man.
Yeah.
Be safe. Don't be stupid. Even if you go out, wear a mask, all that stuff. Like, let's power through this so we can go back to eating in Taco Bell and all that stuff, man.
Yeah, this was wonderful. For our next episode, everyone, next Friday is going to be again Red Tiger Clan, the wonderful, wonderful individuals. They're revisiting the YouTube gaming channel, so be sure to check them out and be excited. It's different guests. We have Austin coming back as well as another member of the Red Tiger Clan, and we definitely dive into some wonderful stuff.
Hey, can I come back on the show?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, we gotta get the game if we do it. If we do it, if it ends,
it's like,
project,
well, why can't I come back? Because that's not a reason. It's my reason.
All right, everyone. We love ya. Stay safe. Bye.